South Africa's MK party is in the middle of a massive public U-turn, and it shows just how chaotic international politics has become. One minute they're sending congratulations to Donald Trump, the next they're firing off condemnations, all because of a single, stunning military operation. Let's break down exactly what's happened. In late January, fresh off Donald Trump's return to the White House, the MK party put out a glowing statement. They called his inauguration a beacon of hope for dismantling systems of exploitation and oppression. They said they were optimistic he'd bring a new era of fair global politics. It was a headline that raised a lot of eyebrows at the time, given the party's usual stance. Fast forward to this past Saturday, news agencies around the world start reporting on a major US-led military intervention in Venezuela. We're talking about coordinated airstrikes on government and military sites, ground operations in Caracas, and the reported capture and removal of the country's leftist leader, Nicolás Maduro. The situation on the ground, according to sources like Reuters and the AP, is extremely volatile, with power struggles and confusion reigning.
The United States is going to be running Venezuela now that Maduro is captured and gone. I kid you not. In the press conference that Trump just gave moments ago, he said that the United States will be running the country because they cannot afford more bad actors to just come in and be another Maduro. And so until they can have a peaceful transition of power, it's the United States of Venezuela. I don't even know what to tell you. He said the U.S. partnership with Venezuela, partnership in quotes, I don't even know what to say, will make the people of Venezuela rich, independent, and safe. And he said that Venezuelans living in the United States will be extremely happy to hear this. They will not suffer anymore. So many questions. One, how do Venezuelans feel about this? What do you guys think? How do Americans feel about this? How is this going to practically work running another country? Are you going to be sending politicians, or are you going to be sending military generals to do the running? It's been 3 days of 2026 and we've got the United States of Venezuela.
The MK party's response was immediate and furious. They released a new statement that reads like it's from a completely different group. Here's a key part. The MK party unequivocally and resolutely condemns the United States military assault on the sovereign Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela and the reported abduction and forced removal of President Nicolás Maduro from Venezuelan territory. They didn't hold back. They called it an illegal act of war, a breach of international law and the UN Charter. They're now demanding an immediate halt to operations, a full UN Security Council investigation, and they're calling on South Africa, the African Union, and other BRICS nations to stand up and condemn the action. So what explains the total flip? You have to understand two things: the MK party's core ideology and the massive scale of this Venezuela operation. First, the ideology. The MK party's roots and rhetoric have always been firmly anti-imperialist and pro-sovereignty, especially for nations in the global south. Their initial praise for Trump seems to have been a gamble, a hope that his America First approach might mean the US would stop being the world's policeman. They were hoping for a withdrawal, not a new invasion. Second, the operation itself. This isn't just more sanctions or tough talk. This is a direct military intervention to remove a sitting government. For a party built on the legacy of fighting external domination, this is the reddest of red lines. It's the exact scenario they've always opposed. The global reaction has been a messy split, which adds more context. Traditional US allies have been cautiously supportive or quiet, while nations like Russia, China, Cuba, and much of the political left in Latin America have erupted in condemnation. They see it as a dangerous return to blatant regime change. The MK party is clearly aligning itself with this second camp, putting its stated principles above its brief, hopeful flirtation with the Trump administration. It's a real-time lesson in geopolitical reality crashing into political wishful thinking. The MK party's first statement read like they were projecting their own desires onto Trump's presidency. They saw an outsider disrupting the old order and hoped maybe that disruption would benefit their worldview. The Venezuela operation was the cold water to the face. It proved that this administration, despite its America First slogan, is still fully willing to project power, and in the most dramatic way possible, far beyond its borders. Their condemnation isn't just criticism, it's a full-scale retreat to their ideological home base. They had to loudly and publicly reject this action to maintain any credibility with their own supporters and their international allies. In the end, their principles were more fixed than their fleeting optimism. It shows that in a volatile world, tying your hopes to an unpredictable power can leave you having to reverse course at high speed. What do you think? Was the MK party's initial support for Trump a strategic mistake or just hopeful thinking? And does their swift condemnation redeem their stance? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more stories like this. Thank you for watching.